Hey guys, Eric Barnes, just coming to you from home today. We're all supposed to be in the house and we're all supposed to be keeping separate from each other, so I still want to be putting some videos out for you. I want to be sure and let you know that we are praying for you each day, and also if there are any needs that you have, please be sure to call me here at the house or at the church, and we'll be sure to try to help any way we can. We also want to continue to minister to you any way we can, and so tomorrow we're going to be putting the service on live for you online, so you can join us in the morning for the service. We will not be opening the doors of the church. We're not going to be physically gathering tomorrow, but we are going to be putting that online. So we'd love to see you tomorrow morning for the service. Also, we are going to be dropping different videos. I've already started a discipleship series. We've done 2 of those. I'll probably do another one on Monday for you. But there's going to be 2 other types of videos you're going to be seeing over the next so many days or weeks to come. I want to be doing a series on encouragement, and myself and some of the other teaching ministers there at the church, we're going to take just specific verses that are important as the stress kind of rises and things continue in this manner. We want to make sure and be putting God's Word in your heart, just letting you know that God is still in control. So the verses we're going to be sharing with you are going to be good, uplifting verses that you just need to be reminded of. Also, we're going to be doing something that I'm going to be doing today, a new series just called Superhero Parables. Superhero Parables, we're going to take superheroes that you may have known as a kid through comic books, through movies, and we're going to share something about God through those. And so today I'd like to share about the Flash. And these are great things that if you want to gather your kids around the table and just have a devotion before you eat at night, just simple, they'll understand these, but it'll be something fun that you guys can do together as a family also. And so today, as we talk about the Flash, I want to share with you a guy named Jake Garrett. 1940 was the original Flash. Jake Garrett is a guy who was a college student, a football player. He's an athlete, a very smart guy too. He wasn't the greatest football player, didn't always get to play. He was better in school than he was on the football field. And he spent a lot of his time with his professors in the science lab, loved to do experiments, and he loved science. And while he is doing science experiments one night after practice with one of his professors, that professor kind of gets tired, goes on home and leaves him there to take care of the rest of the experiment that night. Don't know if that's something you'd be allowed to do in today's society, but they did that in 1940, I guess. And so he's there doing the rest of his assignment there in the lab. And as he is, another thing that's different in today's society, I guess your superheroes and even your athletes back then, he is going to sit down for a smoke break. And so he sits down for a smoke break in a science lab, which probably isn't a great idea either. And in doing so, he kind of tips the chair over, starts to fall. And as he does, he tries to reach back. And as he does that, it knocks the experiment off the table. And he and the experiment go crashing to the floor. And these gases are released, and they knock him out. And so he lies there throughout the night breathing in these gases. And when the professor comes in the next day and finds him, he realizes he's been there all night. He calls and takes him to the hospital. They go to the hospital, and the doctors don't know if he's going to make it. They're running some tests, and as they run tests, they start looking at his blood work, and his blood work comes back different because he's saying something is changing his DNA as we speak. There's something going on inside his body, and we just don't know if he's even going to make it. But if he does, he's going to be changed. There's something in him that's changing. Well, as he comes out of this and they start to test him to see if he's really okay, everything, his cognitive skills, everything they start to do, he comprehends everything super fast. He reads faster. His reflexes are faster. He can run faster. He can actually kind of process thoughts. Everything is faster. And literally the doctor says, he may be the fastest thing on earth. And they really don't know the upside or how far this actually could go. And so as he develops these skills, he realizes, man, I could be using these type of skills not only on the football field, but a lot better use, and I could put them to better use. I could stop crime. I could help people with these skills. And so what he does is take those, kind of gets this get up on where he's got this red shirt with a lightning bolt he puts on it. They called him at first the Scarlet Speedster, I think is what it was, and later on they start calling him the Flash. But he just has this helmet on. It's this goofy looking helmet, and he puts wings on there to show, kind of from Greek mythology, this speed that he has, and he just does that to kind of shadow his face so people don't know who he is. But he actually can move so fast that even people trying to take a video or camera, of him, picture, they can't get a good picture because he's moving so fast everything's blurry. And so he goes out and does these great things, and he's helping people with his skills. And as he gets older, what I love about the Flash is he has a family, everything, but he carries on his normal life. But he also knows that with the skills he has, he can leave his family, even at home in the moment, go do what needs to be done, and he's back before they even know he's left. But everything he does is now. Everything he does is quick. Everything are these quick reflexes that it should be done now. And that's what I love about the Flash, and that's what I want you to take away from this, because the human nature in us, we usually do just the opposite. We procrastinate. We put off everything. We have all these kids, that right now are out of school and they have these packets to be doing homework, and most of them are putting it off rather than doing it today. I was talking to somebody last night, and they said, my kid will probably wait till the last day and then try to do it all before they go back to school. And that's kind of our attitude, is why do today what I could do tomorrow or put off till tomorrow? We have this ability to put things off, and that's not always good. When it comes to our spiritual life, I see a lot of people that are my age or a little younger, and I talk to them about church, and they say, I'll probably get back in church one day. Later on down the line, I'll get back in church. When I have kids, I'll get back in church. And they're always pushing it off till tomorrow. There's a lot of us as Christians who, we have family members. We have friends that don't know Christ. We know that we should be sharing Jesus with others, but we don't have an urgency about us. We don't want to go out there and get it done. And so we push it off, and we push it off. We know that there's times that we should be growing in our faith. There's times we should apologize to others. There's times we should go out and do something right or good or love somebody in such a way that we know would be the right thing to do. And God even lays that on our heart, but we just don't do it all the time. And so what I think we need to take away from this parable is we need to do what is right now. And this is biblical. Listen, in Psalm 119:60, it says this: I will hasten not, and I will delay not to obey you and your commands. I will hasten, and I will not delay to obey your commands, is what it says there. James 4:17. Anyone who knows the good they should do and does not do it, that is a sin. God is literally saying, hey, listen, if you know you should do what is right. So when we talk about sins, a lot of times we think, well, I'm not murdering, I'm not out there, stealing and lying and cheating somebody. I'm not doing these things, but it's not always what we don't do that's just a sin, or doing bad things that's a sin. A lot of times it's knowing there's good things we should do, and we already know what we should do, but we just don't do them. And in that's a sin of omission. God says that not doing good is also a sin. And so when you put off tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next month what you should do today, that's a sin. And so we need to be more like the Flash. We need to have those quick reflexes that say, hey, listen, this is something that's right. This is what God would want, and I should do it today. We also know, and we see in Scripture, that God allows us to have these pictures all through the book of Acts. I love the book of Acts because you see all these guys doing these amazing things, and it's just like they didn't know they were going to be doing it that day. When they got up, they just happened. And so they just seized that opportunity and they take it. Peter sees a crowd gather because a guy gets healed, and because everybody has gathered, he just realizes this would be a great time to share the gospel. I should do this. And he just steps up, he starts preaching. When he starts preaching, people come to hear, and as they hear, they're convicted in their heart. They come to Christ, and 3,000 people are baptized in that moment. What if he would have put it off and said, I don't know if this is the right time? You have Paul and Silas in prison. They're singing, shackled to the wall. The earthquake kind of comes. God allows them to be set free. But instead of being set free, they use that as an opportunity to share with the guard. The guard that night comes to Jesus Christ, but then says, hey, I've got a family. My wife, my kids, they need to know about this. So they immediately, that night, let's go do it now. They talk to them. They share the gospel with them. They also come to Christ. And so let's do it now. Them and their whole family get baptized in that moment. And that's what I love about the Bible. You have guys like Philip, who God says, go to the Gaza Strip and wait there for what I'll ask you to do. He immediately goes. When he sees or this carriage going by and he thinks this is that opportunity, he immediately runs beside that carriage. He asks to be able to join that guy and teach him what he's reading. He uses that opportunity. That guy comes to Christ. That guy even says, hey, look, there's water outside the carriage here. Is there any reason I shouldn't be baptized? No, let's do it now. They get out of that carriage, they get into the water, and they get baptized. That's the key, is we need to act today on what we know we should do. The Bible is clear. It says today is the day of salvation. And that's because we need to use today to do the things we should do. And so from now on, us as Christians especially, let's have more flash-like reflexes, and let's do what should be done today. I love the flash, and I guess the parable we're learning about here is the importance or the urgency of the Christian life. And so make sure, if you know the good you should do, yet you do not do it, that's a sin. So hasten me, Lord. Quicken me. Speed me up. I will not delay to obey the word of the Lord. Listen, I'll come back with you tomorrow for the service, and then Monday I'll drop another video in our discipleship series. I'll see you then. Thanks.